in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you,
Member
Mr.
for
Speaker.
Budalangi, Raphael Wanjala.
Mr. Speaker, I'm available.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a general statement on the likely exclusion of facilities in Kisumu and Kakamega counties from hosting the 2027 African Cup of Nations Afcon tournament matches and the state of preparedness to host the tournament. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 43-1, I rise to make a statement regarding the likely exclusion of Kisumu City and Kakamega Town from hosting the 2027 African Cup of Nations Afcon soccer tournament matches in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania won a joint bid dubbed the Pamoja bid to host the Afcon tournament in 2027. Following this monumental triumph, the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs and Sports announced that Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, Moi International Sports Center Kasarani, Nyayo National Stadium, and Talanta Sports Complex, all in Nairobi City, and Kipchoge Keino Stadium in Eldoret, were the selected venues in Kenya to host the tournament. Honorable Speaker, no stadium in Nyanza and Western is in the list, yet it is public knowledge that the region is pride in being the home for soccer in the country, having produced many talented players and enjoying fanatical soccer fan base, as witnessed during the National School Games that was held in Kakamega Town in August this year. And even the Minister for Sports happens to come from that region, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as witnessed during the National School Games that was held in Kakamega Town in August this year. Further, Kakamega Town has Buhungu Stadium, which is under construction to meet international standards by the county government with the support of the national government, while in Kisumu County, we have two stadia, Moi and the Kenyatta, which may only require slight upgrades to meet the international standards for hosting Afcon matches. Furthermore, Kisumu has an international airport, hotels, and other facilities to facilitate hosting the tournament, and they can be slated with can be shared with Kakamega Town, Kisii Town, which is just 50 kilometers away. Honorable Speaker, hosting some Afcon matches in Kisumu and Kakamega will be a morale booster to the many soccer players and fans, as well as the development of soccer in the region. While matches in Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, and while Kenya intends to host Afcon matches in two cities of Nairobi and Eldoret only, Tanzania will host its matches in Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, and Arusha, while Uganda will host in Kampala, Hoima, and Lira. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to implore upon the government through the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports to include Kisumu and Kakamega as hosts for Afcon matches. Also, given the ample time between now and 2027, I urge the government to expedite preparations so as avoid the being stripped of the hosting rights due to lack of preparations, as has happened previously. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Rafael Wanjala, MP.
Thank you, Honorable Wanjala. Chairman Sports. Yes, Janet. What is out of order? Give to Janet.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to add my voice to the statement that you have approved for Honorable Wanjala. Mr. Speaker, the Afcon games that are coming ahead of us are very, very important games. And this is the first time, Mr. Speaker, we'll be hosting the Afcon games in our country. But Mr. Speaker, you know very well you are a soccer fan. What adds flavor to soccer are the fans, Mr. Speaker. If you don't have fans, you will not enjoy a soccer game. You know that very well, Mr. Speaker. And where soccer fans are known, Mr. Speaker, they are in western part of the country, either in western Kenya or Nyanza, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in my view, there is no need of having, Mr. Speaker, as a fan of Arsenal, you know last weekend when Arsenal and Man City were playing, the way the fans were very happy when the last minute goal came, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what adds flavor to soccer is the fans that are watching the game. There are no fans in some parts of this country for soccer, and Honorable Bokose knows that very well. He's a fan of something else, I know, Mr. Speaker. So I am persuading the Ministry of Sports. There is no need of having two stadia hosting games in Nairobi. We can have Kasarani in Nairobi, and then we can have Buhungu or the one in Kisumu as the second one. This stadia here, they are calling Talanta. This is a joke, I know it. The one on Ngong Road, there is nothing there, Mr. Speaker. That is a place for Bishop Uhuru to do his crusade. That's not a soccer place. That's a meeting point for Bishop Uhuru, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want this House to summon the Minister for Sports so that we can transfer one of the stadiums to Kisumu or Buhungu Stadium. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Sports, bring a statement in response in 2 weeks.
I concur, but in addition, Honorable Speaker, soccer fans are across the world. They are not born in a specific region, so that should not be the basis. But as it is, we'll seek the sports minister to give the statement. But I want to say whatever is being aired, it is just hot air. We have not affirmed about which stadiums are going to host those stadiums. So we will be able to settle their scores. Thank you.
Mama Zamzam, what is out of order?
Nataka nimuulize mheshimiwa, unasema bado haijakuwa wewe ndio CS ama wewe ni nani? Na mimi nimesimama hapa pia nikilia pamoja na Palestine.
Next, member for Kisii County, Doris Donya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to do a statement, general statement regarding preparedness and response to impending El Nino rains in the country. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 43-1, I wish to make a general statement regarding the state of preparedness and response to the potential devastating effects of impending El Nino rains in the country. Honorable Speaker, weather forecasts have predicted that the period from October to December 2023 carries a very high probability of above average rainfall across the country. It is expected that the phenomenon will occasion a rise in runoff rainwater, especially in areas prone to flooding, such as along river valleys and low-lying plains. with the advent of the heavy rain season, may bring relief to our farmers who have suffered devastating effects of prolonged drought. We must appreciate that without adequate preparedness, the El Nino rains could quickly turn into a disaster. Honorable Speaker, history serves as a reminder of the havoc of El Nino can wreak on our country. Based on its devastating effects of last phenomenon in 1997 and 98. We may recall that the last El Nino phenomenon resulted in flash floods, devastating landslides, building collapsing, the tragic loss of lives and food insecurity. There is therefore an urgent need for the country to put in place proper mechanism to mitigate the devastating effects of heavy rains in order to capitalize on the expected El Nino season of plenty rainfall to address the long-standing issue of drought in the country. Honorable Speaker, with this background, it is necessary that the government, through the relevant ministries, puts in place mechanisms for disseminating early warning systems to vulnerable communities, ensuring timely access of information and sensitizing citizens on best preparedness measures to respond to the effects of El Nino. Further, the government ought to develop and communicate clear action plans to forestall the devastating effects of El Nino on communities in high-risk areas, as was witnessed in 1997-1998, including emergency relief, support and protection of citizens during the phenomenon. Most importantly, I urge the government to develop and implement strategies for harnessing the excess rainwater, for supporting long-term drought mitigation that includes using the water to implement programs in agriculture and afforestation. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Donya. Member for Marakwet County. I know that 3 members have asked to comment on this El Nino issue. I'll come back to that. Marakwet. Member for Marakwet County, Caroline Ngelechei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 259D 2B to notify the House of the great achievement in the past few weeks of Mr. Kevin Kiptum, a Kenyan marathoner. Honorable Speaker, on Sunday, 8th October 2023, Mr. Kevin Kiptum participated in the Chicago Marathon 2023 competition where he showed exceptional performance. He broke the world record to become the fastest marathoner in the world with a new time of 2 hours and 35 seconds. The world record was previously held by the seasoned marathoner champion, Mr. Eliud Kipchoge, who is now the 2nd fastest marathoner in the world from Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Kiptum debuted his marathon career in 2022 during the Valencia Marathon League in December 2022, where he finished with a record time of 2 hours, 1 minute and 53 seconds. He followed it up with the 2nd fastest marathon of 2 hours, 1 minute and 25 seconds during the 2023 London Marathon, displaying his steadfast commitment and hard work despite the rainy weather condition at the time of the competition. Mr. Speaker, it is good to note that this exceptional performance is just within 1 year, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Kiptum's achievement has demonstrated the possibility of setting a record of sub 2 hours run, and we celebrate his tenacity and dedication. His career trajectory is set with possibilities of achieving much greater records in the near future and serves as an inspiration to many budding athletics. It is also cemented Kenya's dominance in the world of athletics, particularly in marathon, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is on this basis that I wish to notify the House of the outstanding achievement of our very own Kevin Kiptum, who is also a resident of Elgeyo Marakwet County, a village called Chepsamo in Keyo South constituency, Mr. Speaker, that the tribute of the House be recorded in his honor in this House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. It's so ordered, and congratulations to him. Thank you. Member for Kajiado North, Onesimus Ngogoyo.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under the provision of Standing Order 259D to report the demise of the late Honorable Philip Lepish Odupoi, former Member of Parliament, Kajiado North constituency, which then was Kajiado East, Kajiado West, and the current Kajiado North, who passed on the 5th of October 2023 at MP Shah Hospital while undergoing treatment. Mr. Speaker, in 1983, the Honorable Philip Odupoi vied for the Kajiado North constituency seat for the first time and won, and thereby serving the term of the 5th Parliament. On the 15th of August, he was appointed as an Assistant Minister for Finance and Planning, later served underwater. He was an astute legislator who contributed to Parliament and committees, and the plenary were invaluable, and his colleagues held him in high esteem. The late Philip Odupoi later left politics, the politics arena, and went to the management of different companies in Naivasha, and later businesses in Kiserian. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, in the death we celebrate a life of a well-respected leader and a successful farmer who laid the foundation of dairy farming in Kiserian town, which is my hometown, and Kajiado North constituency. On my own behalf, and indeed the behalf of the people of Kajiado North, I wish to extend my deepest condolences to the family and friends for the loss of this remarkable leader. Through you, Honorable Speaker, and I wish to thank you for your personal support and the support that you have provided to this family. I beseech the leadership of this House to find it appropriate to mobilize members in this House, and by extension government, to step in and assist the bereaved family and accord the departed colleague a decent send-off. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that he stopped being a member of Parliament in the year which I was born, and therefore is a great leader who served Kajiado North constituency in a very great way. With those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Kajiado North constituency, I wish to say pole to the family of the late Philip Odupoi.
Thank you, Honorable Ngogoyo. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I'll go back to Aduma Owor.
Speaker, may I use?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 43.1, I rise to make a general statement.
Apologize to the House for coming late.
Thank you,
We called
Mr.
you out earlier.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to apologize. I was engaged in a committee meeting where you had given authority to proceed beyond 2:30 with the Minister for Interior, which meeting is still going on, so I want to apologize for being late. Having done that, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 43.1, I rise to make a general statement regarding the unfolding spate of insecurity and reported clashes in Sondu along Kisumu-Kericho border. Honorable Speaker, Article 238(1) of the Constitution envisages national security as the protection against internal and external threats to Kenya's territorial integrity and sovereignty, its people, their rights, freedom, property, peace, stability, and prosperity, and other national interests. In spite of the clear constitutional safeguards for these rights and the obligation on the National Police Service to guarantee security for enjoyment of those rights and freedoms, they are systematically being taken away from members of the specific communities living along Sondu, along Kisumu-Kericho border. Honorable Speaker, in the course of this month, gangs have been attacking residents of Sondu and causing a trail of deaths, injuries, displacement of residents, and distressing women and school-going children. It is of great concern that the situation is crippling lining in the area, as one teacher was killed among 18 other residents, and fearful residents have fled the area due to insecurity. There are also reported cases of cattle rustling, and the business climate has significantly dwindled for fear of such attacks. Honorable Speaker, when the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration visited Sondu on 15th July this year, he promised to establish the real cause of the conflict and appeal for calm and an immediate ceasefire. Yet even as recent as 2 weeks ago, that is to say on 24th of September and on 4th of October, civilians living and doing business in Sondu remain vulnerable to attacks from organized groups from across the border, in what happens to be a clear case of organized crime. Honorable Speaker, there's an urgent need for the security agencies to move with speed to arrest the situation and restore peace and normalcy in the area. I therefore implore the government to formulate measures and strategies, including posting enough security agencies in the area to permanently curb further cross-border attacks. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you for the patience and time.
Thank you, Honorable Aduma. Yes, Jared. What's out of order?
Honorable Speaker, allow me to join my brother, Honorable Aduma, in condemning in the strongest terms possible the chaos around Sondu. We have since lost 20 people in this, what may pass for ethnic cleansing, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Aduma may not fully exhaust the happenings on the ground, but we know that there is a section within the warring factions that enjoy police protection even as they unleash terror on the lives of innocent people in Nyakach. Honorable Speaker, these are people who have lived cordially since time immemorial, and therefore the upsurge of discord and chaos and deaths that are totally unwarranted should be addressed wholesomely by the government, Honorable Speaker. The police needs to be mobilized, to be on the ground, and not to take sides, but treat both people from Sondu, Nyakach, and the part of Kericho County equally, because that is the only way that we are going to address this. And finally, Honorable Speaker, through your indulgence, the political leadership many a times tend to be the lowest hanging fruit in handling issues of ethnic divisions. And I implore upon you that the governor of Kericho, the governor of Kisumu, the elected leaders should hold a public baraza in Sondu Market and pump a lot of sense in our people. The importance of working as a one unitary society, because we have always lived cordially since time immemorial, Honorable Speaker, and try to address this thing once and for all. Otherwise, when the security apparatus take sides in a matter such as this...
Jared, you've made your point. Thank you. Thank you. Before I call the majority leader to make his statement, allow me, honorable members, to acknowledge in the speakers and public galleries Kiamutira Secondary School from Kirinyaga Central, Kirinyaga, Naigera Secondary School from Laikipia West, Laikipia, Kawauni Secondary School from Kangundo, Machakos, Kalama Secondary School, Machakos Town, Machakos, Malili Township Primary School from Kilome, Makwiny, Earth River Secondary School from Mavoko, Machakos. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I welcome the students and the teachers accompanying them to the House of Parliament. I've been asked by 2 members, 3 in fact. I'll give them a minute each, starting with the member for Laikipia West. 1 minute, boss. Honorable member, the mic is next to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome all our students who have visited Kenya National Assembly today, among them Naigera Secondary School from my constituency of Laikipia West. May I also say, Mr. Speaker, I have a program where I facilitate Form 4 candidates to visit, among others, Parliament, Museum of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, so that they can be voted. Thank you very much.
Patrick Macau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to welcome the River High School in the House. Mr. Speaker, this is the best school in Mavoko with a main score of about 7. Mr. Speaker, they are accompanied by their principal, Mr. Kariuki, and their 10 teachers. Mr. Speaker, yes, I'm aware Kenyan students are going to sit for their KCSE examination. May I also take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to wish them all the best in their exams. And I want to promise them I'll work with them all the journey, and I wish them all the best in their exams. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Member for Kirinyaga. GK, is he here?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to comment on the El Nino issues. Honorable Speaker.
Not you yet. I call the member for Kirinyaga Central. Hold your horses. GK, I'll call you later. Go ahead. Can you give him another mic?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to welcome students from Kiboro Secondary School in Dia constituency. Honorable Speaker, Kiboro Secondary School has a student population of about 80 boys and 80 girls. And Honorable Speaker, it's one of the best schools in my constituency. Honorable Speaker, not trying to steal the show from my female colleagues who have been campaigning and agitating for the girl child to be supported to stay in school even during her menstrual cycle days. I have today, Honorable Speaker, donated 80 sanitary pads per student of Kiboro Girls Secondary School, and I am reliably informed by my female colleagues that, including Madam Jerry here from Kirinyaga, that with 80 sanitary pads, that girl will stay in school for the next 12 months. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. Jerry, now you can have a minute to comment on El Nino.
Honorable Speaker, thank you once again. GK is indeed my MP. Honorable Speaker, I would like to comment on El Nino matters. As the national government prepares to fund the same, I note that the Council of Governors has said that Treasury has not given them that 5 billion or rather release the funds so that they can ensure that they mitigate the effects of El Nino. Honorable Speaker, I note that Kirinyaga County is one of the counties that has adverse effects when it comes to El Nino. I am requesting that as leaders and as the government pushes for mitigation, we ensure that we encourage and fund rain harvesting. We also reinforce the existing infrastructure and protect it from the adverse effects of El Nino, that we provide our people with the proper public awareness campaigns so that they can be well informed, expand on social protection mechanisms, and equip our health facilities, because with El Nino comes the risk of malaria and other waterborne diseases. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm also requesting that the Majority Leader updates the House on the issue of sanitary towels, the whereabouts of the 940 million.
Order,
and
Jerry, order. You are exceeding the authority given to you. Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze pia kumpa dada yangu Donya support upande wa mgao wa El Nino. Ni dhahiri kuwa Mheshimiwa Spika, tunaelekea kwenye msimu wa mvua, msimu ambao familia nyingi sahihi hawana amani, hawana furaha. Na nikizungumza kuhusu kaunti yangu ya Mombasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, watu wengi huathirika sana na mafuriko ya El Nino. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ningeomba serikali, na miaka nenda miaka rudi Mombasa hatujawahi kupata sisi mgao wa kuweza kumanage zile effects za El Nino. Mheshimiwa Spika, watu wamehangaika, wanapata mafuriko, nyumba zao zinabomoka, inabidi kama mama county niingie mfukoni kuangalia mapeni kuwasaidia. Mheshimiwa Spika, inatamausha wakati ambapo kuna bajeti ambayo imepitishwa ya kuweza kuwasaidia hawa watu. Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba serikali iangalie kwa usawa kaunti zote ikiwemo kaunti ya Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you. You made your point. Lastly, Mohammed Abdul. 1 minute, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Disaster preparedness and mitigation has never been a point of strength for this country. And remembering the experience of the 1997-98 El Nino phenomenon, I am actually really scared about how prepared we are in mitigating the disaster that comes with this kind of weather phenomenon. I remember the rains lasted from May 2007 to February 2008, and in between then, so many places were marooned, floods cut off villages and towns, and there was a lot of suffering. And I pray that this time round, given the experience we've had with that weather phenomenon, the El Nino weather phenomenon of 1997-98, that we get ready and ensure that we are stocked up enough to fight off diseases like malaria and also diseases that affect both livestock and human beings, like the Rift Valley weather phenomenon. Thank you.
You made your point. I had allowed only 3 members, honorable members, and now I see a lot of hands up. I'll give the chairman of agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to just contribute to this issue of disaster, El Nino. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I marvel when we look at El Nino as just a source of disadvantage or a disaster in this country, instead of seeing El Nino as an opportunity. Kenya is majorly a dry country. 80% of this country is asal. And there will be rainfall everywhere. What we've never done as a country is try to contain this water for use thereafter, or to recharge the underground water aquifers. The problem we have, Honorable Speaker, is that there is no investment in that direction. There is no serious concern. This water carries away our soil, the topsoil, which is important for crop production, and we could use it to recharge the areas that used to be the water basins. Honorable Speaker, we need to focus in that direction as a country. Thank you.
Member for Kamukunji, 1 minute. You'll be the last on that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wanted to add my voice to the concerns about El Nino coming from the capital city with densely populated neighborhoods, particularly in the Eastlands where I come from as a member of parliament, where there's a very large informal settlements with very poor structures. I think it is important both for the county government and the central government to be alert and to put a lot of efforts to unblock the sewage systems and to prepare for the worst, because many of those people in the informal sectors, settlements of Nairobi would be badly affected. And these are the largest populations.
Thank you. Last but not least, Dr. Bukose, 1 minute.
Chair, I just wanted to urge the country that, especially my colleagues, that as we prepare for El Nino, also put into consideration that there will be many waterborne diseases and even vector-borne diseases. We'll have an upsurge of malaria cases, so make sure that you can also support using the money for environment by buying some water tanks for your community so that they can have safe water. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. Majority Leader, you may sometime next week, I'll allocate you time to issue a comprehensive statement on the level of preparedness in the face of what we are being told, an impending El Nino. But I don't want you to sell fear to Kenyans. El Nino could be a blessing, like Mutunga says. I don't hear any one of you encouraging farmers to get ready to plant short rain crops when the rains arrive. We are only worried about the negative side of El Nino, and Dr. Mutunga is spot on. There are also the positive sides. Harvest the water and plant crops and feed the families of this country. Majority Leader prepare a comprehensive statement. I'll give you time next week on probably Thursday afternoon so that you can inform the country on the country's level of preparedness, mitigation factors, and how the farmer is being prepared to benefit from these rains as and when they come. I'll now call you to make your Thursday statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and most obliged, I will do that statement next week. And as you rightly say, both also to encourage farmers to take advantage of the rains and those ministries concerned with water harvesting to make sure that they harvest the water. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 3rd October 2023. As members are aware, Tuesday, 10th October 2023 was a public holiday marking Utamaduni Day. The House therefore convened yesterday, Wednesday, 11th October 2023 in the morning. Honorable Speaker, with regards to business scheduled for consideration today, members will note that the House is expected to consider a procedural motion regarding a resolution to hold a morning sitting on Tuesday, 17th October 2023. This is intended to provide time for consideration of legislative priority business. Additionally, for today's sitting, the House is scheduled to undertake debate on the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, and the Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, from the Senate. These bills are part of the health sector legislation aimed at realigning legislation to the government's aspiration for universal health care for all Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, with regard to business scheduled for next week, the House is expected to consider the following bills at various stages, some of which are already listed in today's order paper, and these include: 1, the second reading and committee of the whole House on the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill 2023, 2, second reading and committee of the whole House on the Primary Health Care Bill 2023, and 3, the second reading of the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill 2023, the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, and the Insurance Amendment Bill of 2023. Additionally, debate will also be undertaken on the following motions, some of which are listed in today's order paper should they not be concluded today. 1, report on a public petition regarding probable loss of investments in Cyton high-yield solutions platforms. 2, consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County. 3, report on consideration of the East African Community Multilateral Agreement on Aircraft Accidents and Incident Investigations. 4, report of the Kenya delegation to the 4th General Assembly of the East Africa Parliamentary Alliance on Food Security and Nutrition, EAPA-FSN, held in Kigali, Rwanda. 5, report on the inspection of various one-stop border posts in the Northern Corridor in the East African Community Region. 6, report on the employment diversity audit in public institutions. 7, report on the loans contracted by the national government between May 2022 and April 2023. 8, reports of the Auditor General on 23 non-compliant state corporations. 9, report on the proceedings of the second ordinary session of the 6th Pan-African Parliament. And 10, report on the proceedings of the 2023 United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the attendance of Cabinet Secretaries to answer questions from members, I wish to inform the House that due to priority business scheduled next week, the Cabinet Secretaries that were to appear on Wednesday, 18th October, have been rescheduled to a later date. Finally, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 17th October 2023 to schedule business for the rest of the week. And I wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader. We'll go back to order number 5, Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I'm sorry, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 12th October 2023. Reports of the Departmental Committee on the Sports and Culture on its consideration of 1, the budget implementation monitoring for the financial year 2022-2023, and finally, the 1970 UNESCO Convention on the means of prohibiting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural property. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, as in my capacity as the Chairman of Sports, I want to thank and congratulate Kiptum for breaking the marathon record that he did. Thank you, sir.
We'll go back to order number 6, Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture. Honorable Wanyama, you are supposed to give a notice of motion at order number 6.
Come again, sir.
I have called you out at order number 6 to give a notice of motion, but I saw you gathering your papers and walking away.
What I heard, Honorable Speaker, is to table the...
It's not what you have, Honorable Wanyama, it's what is on the order paper. Under order number 6, you are listed as the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture, to give a notice of motion.
I therefore give a notice of motion on the same Honorable Speaker.
That is not how notices of motion are given, Dan Wanyama. You are out of order. You are not ready?
Honorable Speaker, I'm not ready. I'll just check and get back to you shortly, kindly.
The clerk say that you have it among those papers. You ready?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the House adopts the report on the Department Committee on Sports and Culture on the budget implementation for the financial year 2022-2023, laid on the table of the House today, 12th October 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We'll now, that's the end of statements. Before I go to the next order, I've been informed of the following schools in the gallery: Woodley Boys Secondary School from Kibra, Nairobi; PCA Ilingoroj, is that how it's pronounced? Ilingoroj Boys Secondary School, Kajiado West, Kajiado. And I saw one more. And we have also Kivai Primary School from Kaiti, Makwiny. We have Mandove Primary School, Mwingi Central, Kitui. And we have Kiriko Primary School, Madhioya, Moranga. On your behalf and on my own behalf, we welcome the students and the accompanying teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order. Okay, I'll call you. Sorry, on the request of Honorable Dan Wanyama, we'll go back again to order number 6. He had omitted to give a notice of motion on one more. Go ahead, Honorable Wanyama.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture on the consideration of the 1970 UNESCO Convention on the matters of publishing and prohibiting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural property, laid on the table of the House today, 12th October 2023. I beg to submit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable members, we'll go back to order number 2 and have a short communication. Order. Honorable Millie, take your seat. Order. Honorable Millie, take your seat. Honorable members, I have a message from the executive, and that is on the nomination of a member to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42.4, I wish to report to the House that I have received a message from the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning regarding the nomination of a person for appointment to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board. In the message, honorable members, the Cabinet Secretary conveys that in exercise of powers conferred to him by Section 15(1)(e) of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Act 2015, he has nominated Honorable Gabriel Kago Mukuha as a member of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board. The Cabinet Secretary now seeks the approval of the nominee by the House. Honorable members, Standing Order 45 provides that upon receipt of notification of a nomination for appointment, such nomination shall stand committed to the relevant committee for consideration. In this regard, I hereby refer the message from the Cabinet Secretary together with the CV and other testimonials of the nominee to the Select Committee on National Government Constituencies Development Fund for consideration. Honorable members, in considering the nominee, the committee should take note of the provision of Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2012, which requires the National Assembly to undertake the approval within 28 days. The committee is therefore expected to forthwith commence the approval process and notify the nominee and the general public of the time and place for holding the approval hearings. Upon conclusion, the committee is to table its report to enable the House to consider the matter within the statutory timelines. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, resolution to hold a sitting on Tuesday morning.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business, as may be approved by the House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker, without saying much, members, as I indicated in the usual Thursday statement, because of the public holiday on Tuesday, we lost one sitting, and because we don't want to significantly interfere with the House calendar in terms of the time that we were bound to break for recess, and by the fact that there is a lot of priority business before the House, and a number of private members' motions and bills And the House Business Committee did make a commitment to allot some time to enable the House consider as many motions and private members' bills as we can be able to. Therefore, to avoid taking up most of the time on Wednesdays when we consider private members' motions and bills, it was in the view of the House Business Committee that we have a sitting on Tuesday morning commencing at 10 a.m. Outside of the normal sitting times. Honourable Speaker, with those few remarks, let me ask the Deputy Leader of Minority, Honourable Robert Mbui, to second.
Robert. There's a mic next to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say two things. One, the timetable of the House, which is basically Tuesday, normal timetable, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning and afternoon, and Thursday afternoon, is not all the time that is spent doing parliamentary business, because we also have committee meetings, which take up all the other time. And this is for the benefit of those people who keep thinking that Parliament only works in those times when we are in plenary. But because everything we do in committees has to end up in plenary, and the public holiday, of course, affected us by a day, then it also makes sense that we increase that one day so that we can be able to deal with the backlog of business, so that we can be able to deal with the motions and bills that are in front of us. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I second.
I propose the order, Honourable Amawa. Take your seat. Order, Meli, and members who are upstanding, take your seats. Mama Dagoretti, take your seat. Honourable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business as may be approved by the House Business Committee. Can I put the question? I now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 33B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Tuesday, October 17, 2023, commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business as may be approved by the House Business Committee. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 60 of 2022. Question to be put on third reading.
Order, honourable members. Order. Order, honourable members. Take your seats. Honourable members, at order number 9, we'll proceed to put the question, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 60 of 2022. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 60 of 2022 be now read a third time. I also request the Honourable Irene Mayaka to second.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I do second.
Thank you. Honourable members, I propose the question, which is that the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 60 of 2022 be now read a third time. Honourable members, I now put the question, and I've confirmed that we have quorum present in the House for purposes of making this decision. I now put the question, which is that the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 6 of 2022 be now read a third time. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to make minor amendments to statute law.
Thank you. Next.
Order number 10, the Mining Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 51 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Mining Act.
Next order.
Order number 11, the Public Participation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 52 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for general framework for effective public participation, to give effect to the constitutional principles of democracy and participation of the people under Articles 10(2), 118, 196, 201A, and 232(1)(d) of the Constitution and for connected purposes.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 12, motion. Approval of the mediated version of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023.
Co-chairperson, Mediation Committee on the Public Finance Management Bill.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that pursuant to the provisions, I beg to move that pursuant to provisions of Article 1132, the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this has adopted the report of the Mediation Committee on the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 11th October 2023, and approves the mediated version of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 20, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023. Honorable Speaker, I want to first thank the members that participated in the mediation, and I want to inform this House that we had a very cordial meeting and a very good mediation meeting between the Senate and the National Assembly on the issues that were before us. Honorable Speaker, I want first to thank you for appointing me to that position, and also to thank the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, our majority leader, for the guidance he gave us during the mediation, and that guidance actually helped us to unlock some of the very outstanding issues that were there within the shortest time. So I want to sincerely thank the Honorable Ichung'wah for that. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the team from Senate. They were very magnanimous, they were good people, and they brought honor to mediation in such a way that we were able to mediate the outstanding issues which looked very difficult, but we were able to make them easy for the purpose of developing this law. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Omboko Milemba, the Honorable Milio Odhiambo, the Honorable Abdi Shurie, the Honorable Kwenya Thuku, the Honorable Joseph Makilap, and the Honorable Kirwa Abraham Kipsang for the good job during this mediation process. Honorable Speaker, this bill is very, very important in order to anchor our debt. And because this bill has been canvassed in this House and a lot of the issues were flagged out, Honorable Speaker, I wouldn't want to belabor the points. The issues that were outstanding, especially in clause 6 of the bill, we will thrash them very well, and I think we have a bill that when passed in this parliament will make good law for this country. In this regard, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Abdi Shurie to second this. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shurie.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to thank all the members of the Mediation Committee, both those representing the National Assembly and those representing the Senate, for the thoroughness in reviewing the bill and the amendments proposed, and for tabling a report in the revised bill in a record time. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to bring also to your attention that we did debate this bill in this House, and on this matter is just on the rejections of the National Assembly on the proposals made by the Senate, And having come to a mediated amendments, I will encourage that we just, since we had already debated, we just move it and go ahead and I wish to, anyway, I beg to second, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 11th October 2023, and approves the mediated version of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023. Do we put the question? Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the bill, on the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number. Order, Honorable Member. The member chatting away in the walkway. Can you take your seat? Members, we have been here for long enough to understand that when the chair is on its feet, we take our seats. It is not for the respect of the person on the chair, it's for the respect of the chair and the mess of this House. And I want to encourage you, Honorable Mwenje and others, when you have discussions to hold and the House is going on, there's some lobby out there that we've created for you. You can sit there, chat away, and then come back and proceed with business. Honorable members, let me put the question once more. That pursuant to the provisions of Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 11th October 2023, and approves the mediated version of the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2023. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 13, the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, second reading.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to move that the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, this is part of the health amendment bills, part of the 4 amendment bills that have been considered by both houses of parliament, and this is one of the 2 bills that emanated or was initiated from the Senate. And Honorable Speaker, as members are aware that most of our public facilities suffer from the lack of financial autonomy and also, Honorable Speaker, not just financial autonomy, but also managerial autonomy, many of them being public entities that fall under either county governments or operate as parastatals, like the national referral hospitals. And because of this lack of autonomy at managerial and financial level, we have seen an increasing fragmentation of health facilities and poor service delivery, both at the local and also at the national level, decreased efficiency and a lack of financial risk protection and transparency and accountability in how many of our public health facilities are managed. Honorable Speaker, therefore, this bill seeks to cure some of these problems by providing financial and managerial autonomy and accountability with the aim of improving decision-making right from the primary health care facilities at the sub-county and ward level all the way to the national referral hospitals, the level 3, the level 4 and 5, and level 6 hospitals, Honorable Speaker. This bill, Honorable Speaker, also aims to stimulate increased revenue collection by public health facilities, significantly contributing to the realization of the universal health coverage target on expenditure and on healthcare infrastructure throughout the country. Honorable Speaker, with the enactment and possible approval of this bill, Honorable Speaker, the healthcare facilities right from the village dispensaries will not only enjoy financial autonomy and managerial autonomy in their management, but also will have a stimulated sense of revenue collection, and they will be able also to retain part of the revenue that they generate at the local level to enable them to provide services and more efficient services to the people that they serve in the localities. This bill, Honorable Speaker, also ring-fences money that is generated by public health facilities, as I said, ensuring that there is a predictable and regular and steady source of funding for public health facility operations in the counties. Honorable Speaker, you know, the problem that has bedeviled many of our healthcare facilities, and many members who have health centers, both at level 2, level 3 health centers, know that many of them will even charge user fees. They will charge a little bit of consultation fees, but all this money previously has been going to the county revenue accounts and not getting back to these facilities. And with this bill, or with the enactment of this bill, this money will now be ring-fenced, that a facility that has collected money at that level will be able to have part of that money retained at the local level to ensure that they are able probably even to buy certain basic medical, either medical pharmaceutical equipment or non-pharmaceutical equipment or pharmaceuticals, Honorable Speaker, to be able to ensure that their clients or their patients who they are attending to are attended to with all requisite equipment and pharmaceuticals available at that local level. And the problem, Honorable Speaker, has been that facilities having to wait for either the county governments at the county headquarters to send them back money to buy even basic things like bandages, or even cleaning equipment, or even gloves. Honorable Speaker, you remember during COVID, many facilities in our local areas could not even access gloves or even face masks, Honorable Speaker, for people who were being exposed to the vagaries of being infected with the COVID pandemic. And now, Honorable Speaker, with the enactment of this bill, facilities, medical care facilities, with the monies that they retain, they will be able to have that managerial and financial autonomy to ensure that a medical superintendent or a medical officer who has been appointed as an AIE holder at that local dispensary is able to incur expenditure and procure for whatever they need to be able to ensure that indeed universal health coverage becomes a reality and we improve on affordable health care being available to our people. Honorable Speaker, other objects of this bill, Honorable Speaker, as I mentioned earlier, is to provide an efficient, secure, and accountable mechanism for the collection, the retention, and management of revenue derived from health services rendered at public health facilities in Kenya. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I don't think I need to overemphasize that. It's just what I was explaining,